This gentleman from Premiere asked me about The Abyss, and I said, I have nothing to say about The Abyss.
Before James Cameron created cinema's most grueling production experience, The Abyss was dismissed as impossible to film and too dangerous by studio executives who couldn't imagine how underwater filming could work for a feature-length thriller about alien contact and human endurance. The cast has finally revealed shocking secrets that will transform your understanding of this nightmarish masterpiece.
I don't do anything dangerous. You know, it's really that.
The underwater things. It was as much an exercise in acting and hitting one's marks as it
that nearly killed everyone who made it. The film that almost drowned its own cast. What most fans don't realize is that The Abyss was the most dangerous major Hollywood production ever attempted, with cast members experiencing genuine near-death experiences that traumatized them for years. The decision to film actual underwater sequences rather than using tanks and special effects created real peril that went far beyond typical movie-making challenges. Ed Harris revealed years later that he genuinely believed he might die during filming. "We weren't acting scared underwater. We were experiencing real panic and oxygen deprivation."
I got the part, and the rest of the cast had gone down to the Cayman Islands, which is a beautiful place to learn how to scuba dive, and
Jim pushed us to the absolute limit of human endurance, and several times we crossed into genuinely life-threatening situations. The actor's trauma was so severe that he refused to discuss the film for decades afterward. Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio disclosed that she had complete psychological breakdown during the drowning sequence. "I actually ran out of oxygen and started panicking for real. They kept the cameras rolling while I was genuinely terrified and desperate for air. When they finally surfaced me, I was sobbing uncontrollably and told Jim I would never work with him again." Cameron's perfectionism that became tyranny. James Cameron's directing approach wasn't just demanding, it became abusive treatment that created genuine hatred between director and cast.
The Abyss is an interesting mixture, sometimes an uneasy mixture, but usually a fairly well-functioning mixture of emotion.
What the actors revealed about Cameron's methods shows how artistic vision became dangerous obsession that prioritized film over human safety and psychological well-being. The director's refusal to accept anything less than perfection meant doing dangerous takes repeatedly until cast members were physically and emotionally exhausted. Jim would make us do the same underwater sequence 15 or 20 times because some tiny detail wasn't right, disclosed Michael Biehn. "We'd be hypothermic and oxygen deprived, but he didn't care as long as he got the shot he wanted." Ed Harris's famous refusal to ever work with Cameron again stemmed from treatment during the drowning resuscitation scene. "Jim made me perform CPR on Mary Elizabeth for hours while we were both freezing and exhausted," Harris revealed. "The emotional intensity became genuinely traumatic, and Jim just kept demanding more takes without concern for our psychological state." The liquid breathing that was terrifyingly real. The drowning and resuscitation sequence wasn't just impressive acting. It involved real liquid breathing experiments that terrified the cast. What the production team revealed about creating this scene shows how they used actual experimental technology that pushed ethical boundaries of what should be attempted for entertainment. The liquid ventilation technology shown in the film was based on real experiments that had only been tested on animals. "We consulted with scientists who were developing fluid breathing for deep sea diving," disclosed the technical advisors.
Themselves too in the making of a film, and I think I may have lost a little perspective on that movie and pushed beyond what it should be, but
The technology was real but completely untested on humans, which made the sequence both scientifically credible and genuinely frightening to film. Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio's terror during the scene was enhanced by understanding that the technology actually existed. Knowing that people were seriously proposing to fill human lungs with oxygenated fluid made the drowning sequence psychologically devastating, she revealed.
Scuba diving I would do. Put a helmet on my head? No, that's all right. Someone else can do that. And sit in a submarine? Someone else can do that.
I wasn't just acting scared of fictional technology. I was confronting real experimental procedures that seemed like torture. The rat demonstration using actual liquid breathing was real footage that disturbed everyone on set. Watching that rat struggling to breathe in the fluid was genuinely upsetting, noted the cast. It made us question whether we should be depicting this technology as heroic when it looked like animal cruelty. The aliens that represented Cameron's idealism. The non-terrestrial intelligences weren't just impressive special effects, they were James Cameron's vision of benevolent beings who judge humanity's worthiness. What the cast revealed about the aliens' purpose shows how the film explored whether humans deserve to survive their own violence and environmental destruction. The aliens' ability to create water tentacles and manipulate ocean environments represented technology so advanced it appeared magical. The NTIS were essentially gods who could control water and create life, disclosed the effects team. They represented consciousness far beyond human understanding, which made their judgment of humanity genuinely consequential rather than just plot device. The theatrical cut's removal of the tidal wave sequence eliminated the film's core message about nuclear deterrence and environmental catastrophe. The original ending showed the aliens threatening to destroy humanity with massive waves because of our violence and nuclear weapons, revealed Ed Harris. Without those scenes, the film lost its anti-war message and became just underwater adventure rather than cautionary tale. The aliens' decision to spare humanity after witnessing Bud's sacrifice represented hope that individual goodness could redeem collective failure. The NTIS saw that humans were capable of selfless love and decided we deserved another chance, noted the cast. The water tentacle that revolutionized CGI. The pseudopod sequence wasn't just impressive visual effect. It was revolutionary computer-generated imagery that changed cinema forever. What the effects team revealed about creating this sequence shows how the Abyss pioneered techniques that would define the next decade of filmmaking. Dennis Muren and Industrial Light and Magic spent over a year developing the water tentacle using computer graphics that had never been attempted. We were creating the first photorealistic, computer-generated character that interacted with live actors, disclosed Muren. The technical challenges were enormous, because we had to make water behave in ways that looked both realistic and impossible simultaneously. The cast's reactions to the practical water effects combined with CGI enhancement created genuine wonder that translated on screen. The practical water rig created real interaction that we could respond to. Then ILM enhanced it with CGI, revealed the actors. The combination of practical and digital effects made the pseudopod feel genuinely present rather than something added in post-production. The pseudopod's facial mimicry represented the aliens trying to communicate through imitation. The face made of water was showing how the aliens understood humans through observation and attempted empathy, noted Cameron. The marriage breakdown that fueled the story Bud and Lindsay's relationship wasn't just subplot. It was deeply personal material drawn from Cameron's own failing marriage. What the cast revealed about the emotional authenticity shows how real marital conflict enhanced the underwater thriller's human drama. The bitter arguments between Bud and Lindsay were based on Cameron's actual fights with producer Gail Ann Hurd during their divorce. Jim was directing his own marital dysfunction while going through a painful separation, disclosed Ed Harris. The emotional intensity of those confrontation scenes came from very real place of anger and resentment that Jim was experiencing personally. Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio's portrayal of Lindsay as brilliant but difficult woman reflected Cameron's complex feelings about strong-willed female partners. Lindsay was simultaneously admirable and infuriating, which created dimensional character rather than simple stereotype, revealed Mastrantonio. The role explored how professional partnerships complicate romantic relationships when both people are stubborn and brilliant. The reconciliation through life-or-death circumstances represented Cameron's belief that extreme situations reveal true character. The film suggested that genuine love emerges through sacrifice and crisis rather than just comfort and convenience, noted the cast. The director's cut that restored the vision. The theatrical release wasn't the intended film. Studio cuts eliminated nearly 30 minutes that fundamentally changed the story's meaning. What the cast revealed about the restored version shows how commercial pressures destroyed Cameron's anti-nuclear message and environmental themes. The deleted tidal wave sequences were the film's entire thematic purpose, showing aliens preparing to destroy humanity for its violence. The studio cut the waves because they made the film longer and more overtly political, disclosed Cameron. Without them, the ending became about personal relationships rather than humanity's survival, depending on choosing peace over violence. The removed scenes of global panic and military escalation provided crucial context for understanding the aliens' judgment of humanity. The theatrical cut made the aliens seem randomly benevolent when actually they were responding to human behavior, revealed the cast. The deleted scenes showed humanity on the brink of nuclear war, which explained why the aliens intervened. The special edition restored Cameron's complete vision 3 years later through home video. The director's cut is the real film that we intended audiences to see, noted Ed Harris. It transforms the story from underwater adventure into profound statement about human violence. The production that destroyed relationships forever. The filming experience wasn't just difficult, it permanently damaged friendships and marriages while creating lasting trauma that affected cast members for decades. What the actors revealed about the psychological aftermath shows how Cameron's obsessive perfectionism created human casualties that extended far beyond the production itself, with some never fully recovering from the experience. Multiple cast members required extensive therapy to process the trauma of near-drowning experiences and emotional abuse during filming. The production created genuine PTSD symptoms in several actors, disclosed the on-set medical staff. People had nightmares about drowning and panic attacks when near water for years after filming concluded. Some actors developed genuine phobias about swimming that persist to this day. Ed Harris's marriage to Amy Madigan was severely strained by his trauma and Cameron's relentless demands that left him emotionally unavailable. The stress of the production affected Ed's mental health and our relationship in profound ways, Madigan revealed. He came home every day traumatized and exhausted, unable to talk about what he was experiencing. It took years of work to recover from what that production did to him psychologically. Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio's breakdown during the drowning scene created lasting rift with Cameron that never healed. "I told Jim I would never work with him again, and I meant it," she disclosed. "The way he prioritized the shot over my safety and well-being was unforgivable. He got his performance by genuinely traumatizing me, which is abusive regardless of artistic results." The cast's collective refusal to work with Cameron again demonstrated how completely the experience had destroyed professional relationships built over years. "Most of us said we would never do another Cameron film regardless of the script or money offered," disclosed the ensemble. "The personal cost was too high, even though we recognized the film's undeniable artistic achievement and cultural impact. The irony that a film about choosing cooperation and communication over conflict was created through abusive, destructive methods haunted everyone involved. We made a movie about peace and reconciliation through warfare and trauma," noted the production team. "The contradiction between the message and the methods remains deeply troubling for everyone who survived the experience." Watch The Abyss again with appreciation for the cast's genuine suffering, the revolutionary special effects that changed cinema, and the anti-nuclear message that studio cuts nearly destroyed. Notice how every underwater sequence represents real danger that actors experienced and how the aliens' judgment of humanity remains disturbingly relevant. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into cinema's most grueling productions. Hit that notification bell so you never miss our latest uploads, and let us know in the comments whether the suffering was worth the artistic achievement. The Abyss stares back, and it nearly consumed everyone.